A very good morning to all the participants.
Good morning, sir.
So I welcome all of you to the LAKE 2020 final round of evaluation for school projects. And Sunday we had the poster and paper presentation for the 8th standard category. And yesterday, Monday, we had the paper and poster presentation for the 9th standard category. And today, as you all know, we are here to evaluate the 10th standard poster presentation in the morning. And afternoon will be the paper presentations. So just to give you a brief introduction, LAKE 2020 is a biennial conference that is happening since 1998. And every conference has been conducted with a specific theme. And this year's conference is with the theme of ecosystem, its structure, functions, goods, and services. And under this theme, there were 20 sub-themes that were allotted on which you have prepared your projects based on that. And after 2 rounds of evaluation, you are the finalists who have got selected and are going to present the poster presentation now and the paper presentation in the afternoon. So once again, on behalf of the organizing committee and the scientific committee, I welcome all the participants and the judges for today's session. So just to give you a brief about today's evaluation, uh, similar to the previous rounds, you will be evaluated for 30 marks. The first 10 marks will be for your poster design, the content, and the color combination on the posters, and following the format. That is, if you have the Lake logo, school logo, the names, everything. So that will carry 10 marks. Then the next 10 marks is for how you present. So how well you interpret the data and present it across in the given time. So that will carry 10 marks. And finally, the overall project quality, how well you have done your project, that will carry another 10 marks, along with how you answer the questions, how much knowledge you have about your subject. So that is the last 10 marks. So totally 30 marks is there. And for poster presentation, it is total of 5 minutes, wherein 4 minutes is given for you to present and 1 minute for discussion. In case you exceed your time, then there will be no discussion. We will move on to the next presentation. Now, just to help you keep up with time, at 3 minutes, you will hear the first bell, similar to the last rounds at 6 minutes. So now at 3 minutes, you will hear the first bell, which is an indication that you have only 1 minute left. So you can hurry up and conclude your presentation so that you don't exceed your time. And at 4 minutes, you will hear the second bell, at which point you will be asked to stop. So kindly stick to your time and do not exceed 4 minutes. So I once again welcome all of you and wish you all the best for today's presentations. Now, to give you a small introduction about this year's theme, TVR sir would have spoken to all of you about the ecosystem structure, functions, and goods and services. However, he's in a meeting today, so he has sent me a video, which I am going to play now. To all of you, I invite you to Lake 2020, Lake 20. Was the sound visible? I mean, audible for all of you?
No, sir.
to all of you. I invite you to Lake Symposium. Lake 2020 is scheduled during 28th to 30th December 2020 to choose the finalists for the symposium. Among the student category, we have scheduled a session today to evaluate the project. Today, the 9th standard kids will be presenting, as well as they are doing the poster presentation. Both paper presentation and oral presentation will happen. You are invited to attend both the session, morning and afternoon. More importantly, you need to take part during the 28th to 30th December, all the sessions. So we will announce the finalists and the winners during that day, those days. One of those days we will do it. So it could be one day among those 3 days. So now with that, let us try to understand the theme of the conference, why we are organizing the conference. The conference is to bring awareness among the youngsters and all the stakeholders about the importance of the ecosystem. If we do not understand the importance of the ecosystem and how to manage that, if we are not doing it, we'll pay the heavy price. As we see in the next slide, you will see that, you will see the rivers. Rivers is surrounded by forest. As long as the forests are there, rivers will retain the water. When the forests are removed, the water will disappear from the river and we'll face a crisis. As it happened in one of the river basin in the Western Ghats. You know, when I was a student about 25 years back, I used to see a water, there were forests. Today, the same region doesn't have the water. It could be because of the vegetation. To understand this kind of linkages and understand the structure of the ecosystem, we have scheduled many talks during 28th to 30th. If you attend the session and understand this concept, probably you can become a good decision maker over a period of time, or even a good researcher or a good professional. As an engineer or doctor, if you understand how the nature functions, you will be highly successful in your career. Now, we all talk about sustainable development. You know, if you do not want to face the situation of water scarcity, you need to manage the ecosystem. That management will lead to the development, which is sustainable development, which ensures the clean air, water, and environment to all you all children and to all on the earth. And with the sustenance of natural resources, we'll have a clean air and abundant water and a clean environment. Okay. For this, we need to have a sensible citizen with a green lifestyle. This kind of the symposium will give insight how to manage the natural resources like water, the forest, etc. When we have the sustenance of natural resources, there will be a secured environment and everyone will survive and there will be a peace among the society. So now let us try to understand the structure of the ecosystem. This you would have studied in your the sixth or seventh standard. You see that material and energy transfer happens when the producer produces the food and transfer it to the next level. Then finally, whatever is left in the environment is being converted into elemental form by the bacteria and fungi. So that's why when you look at the nature, there is nothing called waste. Waste you will see where there is plenty of use of plastic, etc. That's why when you lead a life which is nature friendly, then probably you are not creating a waste in the system. Today we have waste in the system mainly because of too much usage of plastic in the form of pizza, etc. in the system. Now let us understand this further in the Western Ghats. So I will take you to the Western Ghats, which extends from Kerala to Gujarat. The length is about 1,600 kilometers. Now when you look at the Western Ghats, it is a home for numerous species. Let us try to understand the Western Ghats importance. See, when you look at the Earth, we have about 8 to 12 million species. Out of that, the science has estimated about 1.3 million species. Now that means you have a lot of job to do to identify what we have not explored as on date, understand their food and medicinal property so that you can give the food and medicine to the population that exists on the earth. Now, when you look at the Western Ghats, it extends from Kerala to Gujarat. And if you see that 8 degree to 14 degree latitude, you have the highest number of species. That means this is the region to be conserved. If you do not conserve, you will not have the diversity of life. When you do not have diversity of life, you will not have diverse food or the medicine in the system. Now, for that, let us try to lead a life which is nature friendly. How we can do it? One is if you can minimize the water use, the water wastage, then you are also helping in sustainable development or the sustainable management of the natural resources. When you have a healthy diet, you will also helping in water use efficiency. What is this healthy diet? See, suppose if you start eating more of pulses, there are benefits like the pulses will help in weight management. That means you will not be obese. It helps in optimal brain function. As a youngster, the tomorrow you will be the youth. Your brain need to function. For that, you need to have a healthy diet. Then it is a source of vitamins and minerals, reduce the risk of cancer. It controls the diabetes and blood pressure, and also boosts the metabolism in the body. So that means you will have a healthy body. When you have healthy body, you will think positively. So now let us try to look at the water footprint for growing these pulses. If you see that for growing 1 kg of pulses, you need 200 liters of water, while the cereals like rice and wheat, you need 3,000 to 5,000 liters of water. And also another important thing is if you grow pulses in a villages where human animal conflicts are there, the animals do not touch the pulse crop. That means you are also addressing the human animal conflict. That's how you can address the water problem as well as the human animal conflict by switching over to the healthy diet. Now, to give an example of healthy diet, this is a example of a healthy diet. If you have a 5 varieties of vegetable, 5 varieties of fruit, and the bowl of pulses, you will be very healthy. There are instances people who are switched over to this kind of diet in the night. They, at the advanced age of about 70 years today, they do not have blood pressure and sugar, which was there about 5 years back when they were eating junk food. So, which means the balanced diet in the form of diverse vegetable and diverse food, the diverse fruits, and the pulses give the physiological, psychological, sociological, environmental, nutritional, emotional, and spiritual well-being. That is the health of the human. You need not go to the doctor. That's what we'll try to understand in today's presentation, much more insights on these aspects. Now, when you look at the health aspect, your friends have looked so healthy. It is not just merely an absence of disease, but also a state of well-being. A healthy person always thinks positively. Whereas unhealthy individual will always think negatively. He or she will always find a fault with everything. The family, the problem with the family, problem with the children, problem with the society, problem with the government, etc. So that means when you have healthy diet, you will also be the emotionally the strong, so that you can lead a happy life. Now, this is a glimpse of the healthy environment. So it also, when you work or when you spend time in this, your body, mind, and the spirit would be this in a harmonious state. That's where you get the health. Okay. So as a youngster, you can all do wonderful job. So this is a bunch of youngsters who have done their doctorates in IISc. So when they do a good job, the country is benefited. So I wish you all the success. I look forward for your active participation. The symposium that is being organized by us might act as a catalyst in your career. I would be very happy if you become successful taking the messages forward. So we look forward for sensible citizens for the country. That is the purpose of this event. I look forward for your active participation during this workshop, the pre-conference workshop, and also during 28th to 30th. I invite you all to the Lake Symposium during 28th to 30th, and the winners of this competition will be announced during one of the days during 28th to 30th. And also, some of the youngsters, we will, as a finalist, we will ask them to do the presentation on one of those days. Listen, I wish you all the success. Thank you very much for listening. And now we look forward to your presentation. The morning session will be the poster, and afternoon we'll have the oral presentation. Wish you the success, okay, in your career.
Thank you very much for Dr. T.V. Ramchandra sir for, in spite having a busy schedule, he has taken the time off to record the video and send it to us. So, like sir had mentioned, after today's presentation, it is mandatory for all the participants to be online during the conference, that is from 28th to 30th December. and listen to all the national and international experts who are going to share a lot of knowledge, and you can interact with them through online medium. So by saying that, I once again wish you all the best, and we'll start today's session now. So I'll be bringing up the poster on screen, and you can start presenting. And at 3 minutes, we will give you the first bell. And at 4 minutes, the second bell will go on, at which point you will be asked to stop. Okay, so I request all of you to stick to the time and present well. So let me just bring up the first poster for today. Arnava, are you there? Arnava?
Anna, he's 8.
Yeah, I know. A note to the judges, Arnava is from 8th standard who was not able to present on Sunday, so he's presenting today. So first we'll take his presentation and then move to the 10th standard category.
Sir, he is not present here.
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Sir, he is not present here.
Uh, okay. Manta Mahant Chandra Bharadwaj, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start whenever you're ready.
Okay, sir. I'll start now itself. Okay. Good morning. I am Mahant of grade 10 from Vagdevi Vilas School, and I will be presenting identifying disasters in the Nilgiri district and finding effective management strategies. A disaster is an event that brings damage to the ecosystem. Mitigation of disasters is called disaster management. Disasters are a big threat, but the concept of fixing such complications is also an interesting field. I have chosen the Nilgiri district as the study area. Located 1,000 meters to 2,600 meters above mean sea level, it occupies 2,565 kilometers square area. I chose this place because of the recent news of cyclones and such disasters that brought the question as to why such events took place and how to fix them too. My objective was to find major disasters of the Nilgiri district, their causes, and to suggest solutions that may help reduce or prevent such problems. I used an Asus VivoBook 14 laptop to refer to secondary sources of information to find the issues. Observations. Landslides and floods affected the Nilgiris, which uproot and wash trees away. Thus, it is a landslide hazard prone area. Since 2016, 8 cyclones hit this region, along with droughts, heat waves, deficient, and even failed rainfall. The pictures down here are maps on the Nilgiri district from 1990 and 2016, bottom left corner. Looking closely, we find that the older map has more dark green vegetation, whereas the newer one has a lighter green color, more frequent around the brown color parts, which are human settlements. Shola forests and grasslands, which are the native vegetation of Nilgiris, have dark green leaf cover. These have been cut down and replaced with alien species like pine, eucalyptus, acacia trees, and even tea plantations. Causes of these issues are tea estates have worse drainage management compared to shola vegetation, which leads to soil erosion and landslides. Plantations of eucalyptus, wattle, and pine require cutting down of existing shola forests and grasslands, which disturbs the soil and the native ecosystem. There is no efficient warning system available for landslides. Carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere hit 417 parts per million in May this year, which contributes to global warming and frequent extreme climate events. Some of my suggestions for these are: swamp areas and wetlands are rare in India, but not in the Nilgiris. Protecting and promoting these areas bring biodiversity and even water storage. Shola forests have medicinal value, with plants such as goatweed, curryat, and Indian snakeroot. People even live in this forest for medicine. Shola forests have diverse wildlife, which is useful for tourism if grown extensively. Vegetation can be promoted with activities like ranching to appeal for a good cause. I also suggest reducing the number of tea plantations to promote tree plantations. Geotextiles are commonly used in railways, landfills, and lakes as it has a tight construction that holds the soil by reducing the drainage velocity. It is cheap and affordable and can vastly resolve landslide issues in barren land and landslide affected areas. Rainwater harvesting systems can reduce soil erosion in forest covered regions. But trees need water throughout the year, whereas in the Nilgiri district, they receive it in the monsoons. Harvested water can be diverted into tanks which expel periodic bursts of water in a certain radius. In forests, trees are uprooted, which loosens the soil. Instead of uprooting these trees, the stumps and the roots can be left behind to keep the soil intact, leaving them to rot and decay, which also gives back nutrients to the soil. So my conclusion is I successfully identified two main disasters of the Nilgiris, many of their causes, and also five solutions. Acknowledgement. I sincerely thank the people at IISC who have put lots of work into Lake 2020 and their message. I thank the school staff for having me to participate in this wonderful event. And I also thank my family and friends, along with Jayashree ma'am, for enabling me to do this project. After that, here are the references that I got most of the content on observation and also causes for. Thank you. That's all.
Manta, thank you for the presentation. Now let's take the questions from the judges.
Okay.
Mahant,
Yes.
how droughts has affected flora, fauna, and human life in Nilgiri?
Droughts. So trees need water throughout the year, and monsoons is only for like 2-3 months. So they get water at this point, which leads to landslides and erosion and all that. But for the rest of the year, it is very dry. So these trees get affected, and the wildlife also don't get their water. So all of them get dehydrated and can wither.
Okay.
Manta, can you tell me some mitigation strategies for wildlife? We know Nilgiris is very famous for his wildlife. So, as in when you have cutting down of trees and the disasters that you mentioned, can you tell us how you can do some mitigation measures for the wildlife in Nilgiri?
Yeah. So for wildlife, we can also connect it with forests also. Now, shola forests and grasslands are the main source of food for many animals like Nilgiri ibex. Now, Nilgiri ibex is pretty endangered, so it needs its food. So we can promote these grasslands so that they can feed on it. This way, we are promoting both shola grasslands and also the Nilgiri ibex.
Very good. Thank you.
Mahant,
So
am I audible to you?
Yes.
Uh, Sudarshan, you want to go?
yeah, you can continue.
Okay. Okay. So, Mahant, you have said you have found out few effective management strategies. I would like you to list one short and rapid effective management strategy that you can immediately implement, as well as one long-term measure.
One long-term measure. So
Yeah,
long-term
long-term as
measure.
well as short.
Okay, for long-term measure, I suggest rainwater harvesting, because slowly, if we build up this water, it aids a lot in our daily needs. So it's gonna help us in long-term for the entire family, basically. Then short-term, so we can just we can prevent throwing trash around, because trash also affects the soil's composition, because it can put toxic components that are toxic components into the soil, and also they're non-biodegradable, so it ruins the soil in a way, and can prevent plants and also wildlife from staying there.
Okay, thank you.
So can you tell what is Shola forest?
Shola forests, they are the native vegetation found in Nilgiris. They like Shola forests have lots of medicinal plants, and many people live in it also. On top of that, it since most wildlife used to live in the Nilgiris, in Nilgiris, most of the wildlife lives in Shola forests, and they're more used to it. So these it's a native species, so any alien species is affecting the soil and also the environment around it, and these wildlife is finding it hard. So the Shola forests are more important to stay in Nilgiris than any other plantations.
I wanted to ask you what is the vegetation type, or what is the peculiarity of that Shola forest?
Oh, Shola forests have a little stunted trees. They have dark green foliage, and yeah, they tend to be dark green, short, and lots of wildlife is there. Along with that, grasslands. They are a little. They look a lot like hay, and they're normally these forests and grasslands are found next to each other, so it will have a
Yeah.
very beautiful looking
Okay.
green and alternating grasslands also.
One more thing is about geotextile. Can you highlight what it is? And
Geotextiles.
whether it is implemented anywhere in India?
Yes, so there's this company called Suntech. It is there in Chhattisgarh. Yeah, it is making good profits, and it's also working very well in Chhattisgarh for construction and also like for building artificial lakes and railways, like to hold railway tracks together. So this can also be used for preventing erosion because it holds the soil together, and also whatever water falls on it, it reduces the speed and so that it percolates a little slowly and doesn't affect the soil.
Okay.
So Mahant, you told that Shola forests have medicinal value. So can you just elaborate on that? Can you just give some examples of the plants there?
There is a Kariyat, Indian snake root. Along with that, yeah, there's also the two-tooth shaft flower. Now, all the medicinal plants here, not before hospitals and all were introduced in the Nilgiris, people depended on these itself for almost for a lot of purposes, and they also worked. For example, yeah, there were many pain remedies here. Uh, yeah, so there's a lot of remedies that could be solved with medication, but people depended on these medicinal plants instead.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Mahant, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You have highlighted what are the different goods that are received from the Shola forests or the
Yes.
Shola region, basically. So, can you elaborate on or give some examples of certain services, ecological services that the Shola forests or Shola region provides us?
Mm, so services, we can include tourism, I believe. Then also other services, maybe we can include uh, services. Yeah, it's useful for ranching also. Uh, Services, ranching.
Okay, thank you, Manta.
Sorry, I couldn't answer the question properly.
No problem. Okay, are there any other questions for Manta? Okay, no further questions, Manta. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, judges. We'll move to the next presentation now.
Thank you.
Adiv, are you there? Adiv Kole, Class 10 BGS. Omkar?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir.
So good morning to one and all present here. My name is Omkar Dikshit. I am in grade 10 and I am studying in Vagdevi Villa School, Marathalli, Bengaluru. Today I will be presenting a poster on feral pigeon, scientifically known as Columba livia. It is one of the most commonly found bird in India. It is very easily seen. We can still distinguish it. They have some green feathers on their neck and purple feathers on the throat. When noticed closely and carefully, we can also see that they have orange colored eyes with a large black iris. They have a bump or cere on their beaks. They have red colored feet with 5 claws. Now these claws help them to climb on from one branch to other and gives them grip to hold on the branches. They have tail feathers and these tail feathers are black in color. They eat grains like bajra. They lay 1 to 3 white eggs in one breeding season. They build their own nest on some height with dry twigs. They become aggressive if someone goes near to their eggs. They search and eat food in large groups. My objectives while studying their behavior were understanding their basic behaviors, their contribution to the ecosystem, if they are useful to us, if the ecosystem will survive without them. This project has been conducted in Purva Fountain Square, Marathalli. It has an area of 15,270 meters square. It is lush green with a lot of trees inside the apartment and pools also. These provide shelter for the birds and water for them. I have used the iPad Pro 2020 Keynote app for making the presentation and Google Map for the map. I observed the behaviors of the pigeon from about mid October to mid-December. I've answered my objective questions. They have their own way of contributing to the ecosystem. The results which I have noted were they have their own way of contributing to the ecosystem. They are effective as primary consumers. They also become birds of prey and connect the food chain. For example, pigeons eat grains and these pigeons are eaten by hawk or cat. Secondly, the ecosystem will surely be able to survive without them, but it will create a disturbance in the ecosystem as many food chains will be damaged. Thirdly, due to large availability of food, they have a lot of lost their breeding season as people feed them for religious reasons, feeding them casually, etc. This should be stopped as this is increasing the population of birds. This has made the birds very lazy. This is a big threat to the ecosystem. In rural areas where farming is the main source of income, the pigeons eat the grains from the crops which affect the farmers. Although in current times pigeons are considered as pests, pigeons have been useful to us. They were the source of communication, navigation, and also were a way of sending small parcels from a place to another. I thank IISC and Vagdevi Villa School for providing this platform and giving me this opportunity. I sincerely thank Jayashree ma'am and Vrijulal sir for their guidance. At the end, I would like to thank my parents for their support. I have referred the following for this project: Britannica.com, birdsofindia.org, pigeonsfact.blogspot, and pigeonopedia.com. Thank you.
Thank you, Omkar, for that presentation. Now let's see if judges have any questions for you.
Omkar,
Yes, ma'am.
what is the outcome of this study?
Ma'am, I have firstly I have noticed the behavior. So one outcome I can say is we should not feed the pigeons. We like, and I have also noted how they are a contribution to the ecosystem, the food chains.
What are the ecological significance of pigeon?
Ma'am, can you repeat, ma'am? I lost you.
What are the ecological significance of pigeon?
Ma'am, the ecological significance of pigeons are firstly they have a significant importance in the food chain and food web. As I had told, if in the case of food chain, the pigeons they eat grains, and then these pigeons are eaten by cats and many other birds such as hawks and eagles. So if these pigeons don't exist, then the the birds of prey will have to look for another birds. And even for the animals like cats which feed on pigeons, they have to find a different source of food.
Okay.
Omkar, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So we have seen the prolific increase in these population of these pigeons, feral pigeons, and in mostly residing in high-rise buildings. I wanted to know how.
Excuse me, ma'am. Ma'am, you are inaudible, ma'am. Your
Yeah, I
voice
just
is very
wanted to know how do you control their population because they're prolifically increasing in the cities.
Ma'am, we can control their population by firstly let them feed on their own. In the sense like we should not feed them as mentioned. Then they should find their own source of food. Then secondly, we also, since they are controlled, their populations are controlled by other birds which prey on them. We cannot kill birds, like as we know that eagles and hawks are getting extinct, their population is decreasing. So if we try to maintain the population of the other birds also, so these pigeons can come in control.
Thank you, Omkar.
Thank you, ma'am.
Omkar, I would like to ask you one question.
Yes, ma'am.
You have said that the pigeons are contributing a lot to the ecosystem, and also you have said that farmers find them as pests. And see, in these two, what do you, in your idea, what do you think pigeons are? Are they pests or are they contributors? And as asked, how do you think there is a via media in between? Because we need them, and we also out of control, as you were telling, they are called as pests. So, can you please explain that version?
Ma'am, so in rural cases, since actually the pigeons are the population of pigeons are exploiting. So as you mentioned the reasons, so we have to control the pigeons because since many pigeons are the population is increasing, so they search for food. And since and not everyone is providing food for them, so they try to go and search for food. And this they try to eat the crops like the bajra which is grown in fields, many other grains. So they try to attack them, they try to eat them for food. But we and the basic reason is the exploitation of population. So we need to control this. And yes, they are pests for many farmers who because of whom the crops are destroyed. And we can use measures like we can introduce the scarecrow and then pigeon nets. I think that it will take time for us to control the population of the pigeons. And I have already told the measures.
Yes, very good. Omkar, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
I wanted to ask you total how many species of pigeon are there?
Sir, I have been researching on the feral pigeon, so I'm not aware of the others.
So you don't know about types also. Types.
I'm sorry, sir, I don't know.
Okay.
Omkar, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Generally in an ecosystem, whenever there is a population explosion of one species, it is likely that their predators also increase in numbers. So in the case of pigeon, why do we not see that, or is it seen and we are not noticing it?
Yes, sir. Sir, actually, in this case, we can the cases of hawks and all. The population of the hawks and eagles are decreasing, and we do notice it. But if we see in a place where a complete ecosystem is there, where it's a natural ecosystem where no interference of humans take place, I have noticed that the pigeons and the hawks are in control. They are in control. And since pigeons are almost everywhere, but hawks cannot hawks or eagles cannot survive all the climatic conditions. But in the case of pigeons, all the climatic conditions they are able to survive. For example, in city, because of the pollution and all, the hawks and eagles cannot survive. But in the case of pigeons, they are able to survive. So maybe because of that, the place where the pigeons the place where the hawks and eagles are meant to live, they are living it in a very good manner. But the pigeons are only found in cities, and even if they are found in towns and even if they're found in villages, the hawks are there to complete the ecosystem. So because of that, and even the towns are increasing very rapidly, so this is still killing the hawks and eagles. And maybe because of that, the population of the hawks and eagles are decreasing, but not of the pigeons.
Okay, thank you, Omkar.
Omkar,
Yes, ma'am.
so what are the threats to the pigeon population?
Threats to pigeon population.
Yeah.
Ma'am, we can say that the threats can be if we are feeding them not in a proper way. That can be a threat, and we also climatic conditions can be a threat. Then if trees are cut down, or maybe greenery is lost, that can be a threat, because then they won't be able to build their nests. I agree that they have evolved so that they can fit in the towns and cities, but still growing more pollution and maybe some ecological imbalance can reduce or harm the population. For example, if we take the case of viruses and bacteria which spread in the environment, that can be a cause of the decrease in the population of the pigeons.
So also, can you
Ma'am, I can't hear you.
ecosystem?
Ma'am, I couldn't hear you, ma'am. Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Asulaba, you are not audible. Could
Okay,
you
I'll
please
just
repeat the
go ahead.
question?
Ma'am, I still can't hear you.
Yeah, she is about to ask. Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
So, Omkar, can you just tell about the threats and the threats to the other life forms caused by pigeon population?
Uh, uh, yes, ma'am. So I am not sure about this, but I have made observations that like in many cases, due to the exploitation of pigeons, they eat all of the food. Like if we are trying to put some grains for the other birds too, the pigeon come in so large numbers that they finish the whole food even before the other birds try to get. So this and this I since I'm not sure, so this can be a reason why the other birds cannot get the grenivore birds cannot get the food, and due to which their population decreases. And one more reason can be since in many places, like in villages, where even though pigeons are found, the other birds are found too. The birds of prey try to eat the other birds due to it may be easy for them to catch them, so maybe because of that their populations are decreasing.
Okay.
Thank you, Omkar. Thank you, judges. Now we'll move to the next
Thank you,
presentation.
sir.
Anant Krishna, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start whenever you're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ananta Krishna. I'm explaining about amphibians of Anandavana. Anandavana is located near outskirts of the Bangalore, and it has no threats for the nature. And I have chose this topic because amphibians are a bit colorful, and their sounds, they have various sounds, and it's very good to identify them. And my objectives are to assess the amphibian diversity of Anandavana, and to identify the voices or sounds of the frogs, and their to know their global status, IUCN status of them, and to study their diversity pattern of Anandavana. Here they have very significance in the ecosystem. They play an important role in the food chain as prey and predators. They are prey for some snakes and some birds, and predators of some mosquitoes and all. And they prevent some they prevent from some mosquitoes, uh, sick from mosquitoes, and so they play an important role in the food chain. And their bio indicators means they are indicators of the biodiversity, health of the nature. And like Mm, it sometimes frogs and all indicate whether the landslide or earthquake is going to happen or not. And there sometimes they are they are used as medicines also, to in the the venom. And these are some results, these are the results. Toad, Indian common toad is found, and these are the frogs which are found in Andavana. And uh, I thank Vrujula Lemvi sir and Raghuram sir for guiding through my study. I thank Gururaj KV sir helping me indirectly, and I also thank my school Anandavana Purna Parmati to giving this great opportunity to participate in Lake Conference 2020. I thank my friends for helping me in this making this project. And these are some references which I used. Thank you.
Anand Krishna for that presentation. Now let's take the questions from the judges.
Ananda Krishna,
Yes, ma'am.
which species was the most dominant or common in your study area?
Burrowing frog, ma'am.
Okay.
Ananta Krishna, I have a question for you. Have you noticed any changes in the population of the frogs there? Because as in a few years from as we see, there is a lot of degradation, ecosystem degradation, which is going on, which is all over Bangalore and the outskirts too. So has there been any population decrease, or has it led to any population increase? Have you noticed that? And what is your study time inclusive, or how much was the study time included in your post study?
I haven't noticed that because I have studied this for 1 month uh, from November.
Okay, so you have no idea about the ecosystem damages or any conservation activities which has gone there in your study area,
No, ma'am.
which would have led to the increase or decrease in the population. Okay, thank you.
So, what do you mean by amphibians?
Amphibians are uh, uh, a part of kingdom, and animal kingdom, and they live in both water bodies and on the land.
So which and all organism will come under amphibians?
Salamanders, frogs, and toads, and Sicilians.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Your voice is very low, ma'am.
Audible to you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So let's say if since you said both water and land, these frogs are there, they are called amphibians and all. So if there are any major change in, let's say, in water or in soil with respect to its chemical composition, do these frogs display any sort of morphological changes on them? Like, let's say they have some deformities that you identify or you have gone through.
I haven't observed, ma'am.
Like they don't have any pigmentation or skin color change or legs being deformed or eyes being deformed because of the water pollution or land pollution.
Ma'am, there is no pollution in my study area, but I
Okay.
have observed some changes in their colors of the skin.
Okay, what could it be due to?
I thought it was the change from the season.
Okay, another question. Say the frogs were to disappear, what ecosystem function or which species would be more affected by that?
Uh, I don't know.
Okay, okay, thank you.
So you are mentioning used as medicines. So in which medicines they are used?
I don't know.
Ananta Krishna?
I don't know, sir.
Anand Krishna, why frogs serve as bioindicator?
Uh, uh, when frogs come out of the land, then we can know that uh, f- for in some days earthquake or landslide is going to happen.
Can you just talk in respect to pollution content in waters?
Yes, if frogs disappear or frogs die, then uh, we can recognize that pollution is happening.
Okay, so can you just tell about the role of frogs in a food chain?
Yes, ma'am. Uh, mm, they are prey. They are prey and predators. They are prey for some snakes and uh, water birds. Water birds, and they are predators of some small insects like mosquitoes and all.
Okay, thank you.
Anant Krishna, you said amphibians means that they live in land and water. So, can I consider hippopotamus or crocodile, which lives in water and the land, as an amphibian?
No, sir.
Why not? And why only frogs, toads, and other several other organisms which you just mentioned as amphibians? Why only they are called as amphibians?
uh, uh, the other animals except the amphibians can live without water also, but these animals can't.
So, some of the toads which are terrestrial, how do they live then? If I mean, they are completely terrestrial, right?
But they live in some uh, areas where is moisture.
Okay, so because they cannot live without water is what you are saying they are called as amphibians. Am I correct?
They can't live without water, and they will live on the land also.
Okay, that's why they are called amphibians is what you are saying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, Anand Krishna.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, judges. We'll move to the next presentation now. Adev, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there. Could I just get 2 minutes? There's a bit of a problem.
Okay,
Uh,
Arnava, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Judges, please note Arnava is from 8th standard. And Arnava, you can start presenting whenever you are ready.
Yes, sir. Good morning, one and all present here. I'm Aranava G from 8th standard, Purana Pravati, Anandavana. Anandavana is located in foothills of Savandurga and outskirts of Bengaluru. My my main goal is to my main goals is to assess and diversity of Anandavana. Assess and diversity of Anandavana, and my materials were some Redmi mobile and some laptops. Methods were transact method and outsource method, and the result were 7 ants. We were ant, fire ant, golden backed ant, ghost ant, bullet ant, black carpenter ant, acrobat ant, and their common name, scientific name, and family is there in the chart. And I the acknowledgements are I sincerely thank to Rujulal sir, Vishwesh sir, and Raghuram sir, and my school Purna Pravati, and teachers, parents, and Lake 2020 team to give participate here. References were antwiki.org, inaturalist.org, etc. And I had used a PDF. I forgot to mention here that was title PDF. It is a research paper of Harvard. I used a bit of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnava, for the presentation. Now let's listen to the questions from the judges.
Arnava,
Yes, ma'am.
which species was the most common in your study?
Weaver ant, ma'am.
Okay.
And golden backed ant.
Okay.
Arnava, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Among the ants that you have identified, which ants used for food?
Weaver ant.
Okay. And then can you tell me one unique feature of these ants?
They will go in a straight line, and they have 3 body segments. In the third body segments, they have some liquid. They don't have any eyes. They use their antennas to move. They use their antennas to talk.
Okay, thank you, Arnava.
So you have mentioned they will clean the environment. How they will clean the environment?
If there is any dead insect or flesh anything, they will carry and eat them.
So, Anava, what do you think that during pollution, if we have excess pollution, we have carcasses all around, do you think it will increase or decrease the ant population?
Decrease.
Okay, you think it will decrease?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Arnava, I'd like to know something. You have mentioned 7 species of ants with pictures here, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me what kind of habitat, or see, if I come to Anandavana campus, what kind of place would I be able to locate these ants from?
Sir, I tried to do this, but I couldn't, sir.
No, you verbally tell me. If I come to Anandavana, where can I find weaver ant? Where do I have to look for? And fire ant, golden back ant, ghost ant, all these things. They must have some particular habitat, or are they found everywhere?
No, the golden backed ant were seen in the open space, and weaver ant were seen in the bamboo tree and mango tree, and bullet ants were on the rocks. Fire ants were on the some windows at the wood windows. They were walking.
Okay, and where do I find the carpenter ant, acrobat ant, and ghost ant?
So ghost ant were seen in the kitchen, sir. And black carpenter ant were on the castor plant. Acrobat and I couldn't remember the acrobat ant.
Okay, and why is black carpenter ant called the carpenter ant?
Sir,
Why is the carpenter ant called so?
they carved the wood.
Okay,
They,
thank you, Arnav.
thank you, sir.
Any other questions for Arnava? All right, no further questions. Arnava, thank you. Thank you, judges. We'll move to the next presentation. Adiv, I hope you're ready.
Yes, sir. I'm ready. All right. Just a second.
Okay, you can start whenever you're ready.
Yes, sir. Just give me a couple of seconds. Just gonna take a breather. Good morning, everyone present here. I am Adif Kole, representing Beaches National Public School. Today, I will be taking on a topic that is a concern to a few people, but the effects of the organisms, including the topic, are quite important to an ecological system. I shall be talking about spiders. So, for a small brief about spiders, spiders are air-breathing invertebrates coming under the Arachnida family, Arachnida order. Arachnida include legged invertebrates, usually possessing 8 legs and abdomens. they are known to extrude or thrust out spinnerets. They're known to extrude webbing and silk through their spinnerets. The webbing and silk is made out of pure protein. Uh, there's a bit of a controversy on whether spiders can be considered as bioindicators, because uh, spiders don't require they do require survival conditions, but they are known to survive in even at most contaminated zones. However, they are not known to exist in or survive in extremely cold temperatures. A very common fact is that there are no species of spiders recognized in Antarctica. Uh, so what my objective of what the objective of this project there were two objectives included in this project. The primary including to take a few select lakes of South Bangalore, Sariki Lake, Kothnur Lake, and Putnali Lake, and to identify these species and figure out the species diversity of these three zones. The study area of the lake includes the entire sediment of it, along with a 500-meter bound radius around it, so as to give a huge coverage for me to identify any species. Not many methods no particular methods were applied in this project, which are identifiable. I only have used a phone camera for magnification and a field guide for a successful classification and confirm sightings. So the secondary objective was to understand the ecology of lakes and the relevance to spider population and species diversity. Now, as you might know, we have a term in ecology called a trophic system. Trophic systems include multiple organisms within a level, and judging on the organisms within the trophic system or trophic pyramid of an area, which represents all species present, we can find out the roles of the respective organisms, given if they're apex predators or not. So, a background of the RNA order, I'll be talking about the lifestyle of the order. Okay. Please refer to the slide for more data.
You still have a minute.
I still have a minute. All right. I'll just go with this real quick. As you can see in the poster, we have the lifestyle of the order species. We can go on to the ecological importance. Spiders play the role of maintaining populations of organisms. It is a known fact that over 25 million species of 25 million specimens or single organisms are known to consume over 400 to 800 million tons of pest bodies or food self. They are primarily insectivorous and can be carnivorous in given conditions. None are identified in the zone I was studying in. Now, I'll just quickly go over the species data. As you can see in the background, in the source I've given, there are over 40 species identified in Bangalore itself. Out of those 40 species, I've successfully identified 12. And there are over total of 14 families. Out of those 14 families, I have been able to categorize over 6 successfully. Again, this is considering the data I have confirmed. There are other unidentified species, but those have been vetted out of the presentation. If you can finally look at the last 3 paragraphs, you will find some ideas about how to identify the spiders. The table will represent all the spiders I have identified, the number of specimens I found in the lakes, and at the bottom I've given the bibliography, the literature and data sources which I've taken from. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Adif. Now let's listen to the questions from the judges.
Adif?
Yes, ma'am.
Among the 3 lakes, which lake has the highest spider population?
Sarki.
What is the reason?
Sarki, ma'am, because it is I can't. This is a bit of a personal info, like analysis on this. I live near Sarki area, and my apartment is just bordering it. Recently, around like 2019 itself, there has been a complete cleanup of the lake, which allows more nesting to occur. Putnali Lake is quite small, and there's not much you can find there. I'm not sure about the condition of the lake itself properly, but Saraki is currently one of the highest maintained lakes among the three. Kosnur is pretty clean as well, but I haven't studied as much in Kosnur, so the highest amount of specimens I have found are in Saraki Lake.
Okay, so another question is,
Yes, ma'am.
which was the most dominant species in Puthenhalli, Kotanur, and Saraki Lake?
Okay, collectively in Puttanhalli, I have found over two. Two is the highest number in the specimens count. The species was, I think, Minervis bivitardis, the gray wall jumper. In Saraki Lake, the highest number was around four scattered. Crossoprisa ioni, tail cellar jumper. I mean, not jumpers, tail cell spider. And in the Kosnur Lake, the highest count was Gastracantha germinata, oriental spiny orb-weaver. Count was 3.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Any
Adil,
other doubts? Yes, ma'am.
am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Yeah. What are the threats that you identified for these spiders?
No major, ma'am.
Nothing in literature?
Literature does not dictate anything about spiders. That's where we come into the bioindicator part. They're known to be potential bioindicators, right? Because they can survive even in contaminated zones. There are unless there is a high count in insectivore species, which will tend to eat the spiders.
Okay.
There's no that's the only threat that concerns.
Yeah. So usually, like, let's say if the house is abandoned for a few days or
yes, ma'am,
few months, there are a lot of cobwebs, and then
yes,
people
ma'am.
So what do you suggest? People should kill spiders, or like just get rid of them or shoo them off?
Shooing them off is kind of an immature thing to do. You can't can't get rid of spiders. You can't get rid of them. They will always continue to nest around your areas. Cellar spiders are not harmful towards us, but the cobwebs can be a bit of a problem. The best way is to either keep them outside of your house, because they can also serve as like suppose a window area. You can keep them nested over there, so they can take care of mosquito populations that may enter through your lake. I mean, not through your lake, your window, for example. Actually, as of now, I can see over 4 jumper spiders on my wall. So I'm not getting rid of them because they can take care of ants and mosquito species. So hello.
Thank you, Adil.
Yeah, thank you.
So totally, how many species are recorded in the world?
So that's a bit of a controversial topic. There are some sources say 43,000, some sources say 45,000. So you could estimate about 44,000 species totally discovered.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Anything else?
Adiv, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
You have found highest number of spider species in your study in Saraki Lake.
Yes, ma'am.
And you said
yes, sir.
Saraki Lake is also one of the most well-maintained lakes.
Not necessarily, but one of the.
Okay, according to your observation.
Yeah, it's much more revived lake. To be honest with everyone in the webinar, I have not conducted as much field time in Kosnur Lake. So
no problem. No problem. My question is, how do you relate the condition of the lake and the spider species?
That's again when you come into the bioindicator itself, bioindicator topic itself. Condition of a lake relating to a spider is a bit difficult, but when we take into the consideration of the the trophic pyramid of an area, if you're given a certain species, and if they're living much more healthier, you can't consider, again, that depends on what species you talk about. Cellar spiders are known to nest anywhere they are found in, but if I were to give the example,
let's say all the jumping spiders and the orb weavers.
Orb weavers, yes. That means the lake is in good condition. For example, I found a Nephilia pileps, giant wood spider, around Saraki area. They're not that easy to find around here, and there is
they're
no.
in Kotnur Lake also.
Yeah, they're in Kosnur, but again, as I said, I don't know much about question itself. So that's a bit of a problem
Okay,
over
so
there.
you have some difficulty in relating the status of the lake.
Yes, that's a bit of a problem. Yeah.
Okay, and the other question is kind of a general one.
Yes, so go
Uh,
on.
do you happen to know which is the only spider that is not predatory in nature?
I think it's Bagheera something. Bagheera. It was termed 2008. The only in quotes herbivorous spider. Some Bagheera. I forgot the subspecies
Species name.
name. Yeah.
It's Bagheera kaplingi.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Adif.
Thank you,
Any other
sir.
questions for Adif?
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, you can go on if you have any other doubts, questions you have to ask.
I think there are no further questions, Adif. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone,
judges.
for your time.
Okay, we have three other poster presentations. However, those three students are in an exam. They said they will join by 12. And we have about 11 minutes left for that. What do we do, judges?
We can rejoin back.
Okay, or we can probably have them in the 2 o'clock session. Start with them and finish it off, and then proceed with the paper presentation. Anything as comfortable with you all.
Both are an option. I think the second one is better. We'll start with Act 2 then.
Fine with me, Vriju.
Okay, Sensi, Sulabha, Sudarshan.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So we'll wind up the morning session then. I thank all the participants who have done the projects for Lake 2020 and presented. I hope this is a journey that you have just begun and not something that is ending up. So I urge all of you to continue your observation of environment, ecosystems, their functions and structures. And with that insight, whatever career you choose to do, I request you to incorporate sustainability in those areas. Okay, so I wish you all the best. And once again, reminding you that the winners of this session will be announced during the 28th to 30th session uh, in between the expert talks. So please log in on all the 3 days for all the sessions. You will have an opportunity to interact with national and international experts, learn from them, and also the winners will be announced during that time. So stay tuned, and only those who are actively participating on all the 3 days will get the certificate. So keep that in mind as well. Wish you all the best, and thank you for your participation. And thank you,
Sir,
judges. Yes.
so for the 2 p.m. we don't have to join, right?
No, you don't have to join for the 2 p.m.
Okay, sir.
If you wish to listen, you can always log into the YouTube link, which is shared by your teachers, and you can listen to it there, not in the Zoom.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Yeah, let's wind up the session. I once again thank all the participants, the teachers who have helped the participants, and the principals and the management of the schools for deciding to take part in Lake 2020 in between a pandemic. So I thank you all, and thank you, judges, for your time and the valuable suggestions and the questions and evaluation of their projects.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Vriju, how is the schedule for hello? 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 Vriju?
Yes, Deepthi?
How is the schedule for 28, 29, 30? Like, where are we placed?
For the presentation or
Yeah, for the presentation.
for presentation day 1.
Day 1, is it? Like, what are the timings?
Timings, I'll let you know. It's see, some of the international delegates, their times don't match, so that's why there's a small delay in sending the schedule.
Right.
We're trying to incorporate that, so probably by today evening or tomorrow you will receive the schedule.
Okay. And tomorrow's session you have sent mail, no? For
Not
the,
yet. I'll send it now.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Resume.
We are talking through Zoom. Here and at the call.
Please speak. Hello. Madam,
Hello.
please. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, we can hear you.